like I said, we're going to be getting into scanning. We're going to be talking about like pretty much everything that goes into scanning. Scanning is not something that you can do on any old site or network, because you kind of need permission to do that. I mean, that's what the unethical hackers do. They just go and start scanning all these sites looking for ports and stuff like that. But we are ethical here. We are ethical, so we do not do that here or as part of ethical hacking. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna do a quick Google search on what TCP and what UDP is. We're gonna install. I'm gonna show you where to find some vulnerable virtual machines, and set that up. And the only thing is, like, we'll figure that out when we get there, right? But let's get started with our first 20 minutes. Let me see if I can actually, before I start that, let me see if I can find let me see, what is UDP and TCP. All right, let's do that. All right, so let's start our first 20 minutes and let's get to work.
It's time to do.
All right, so can I do that here? Yeah, let's do a bit of that. All right, so as part of scanning, right? Scanning is basically you're going to be searching like different IPs, different ports. I made a video on scanning last week, so hopefully you watched that software explorations concept and overviews to get a good idea about scanning. But we're going to be like, trying to see how we can get into the system. We use reconnaissance to learn about we use reconnaissance to learn about our target, but then we use scanning to say, okay, how can we get in via scanning? All right, so there's two main components, two main protocols for scanning, where there's UDP, user datagram protocol, and TCP for transmission control protocol. So both protocols, let's expand this. So both protocols use to transfer data across networks, with the key difference being that TCP prioritizes reliable delivery of data by establishing a connection and checking for errors, while UDP prioritizes speed and efficiency, sending data without guaranteed delivery confirmation, making it better for time-sensitive applications like online gaming or video streaming. So it is quite possible what we're doing right now, as I'm streaming this to you, it's being sent over a UDP connection, and like, if we're not getting data, then YouTube's gonna be like, oh, there's no data coming in. We're just going to get rid of it. But TCP, from when I was learning about it earlier today, it talks about a three-way handshake system. So let's say if I'm on a TCP, if I'm sending over TCP, I send data to you, and then you respond back that you received the data, and I say, okay, great, thank you. So it's like a three-way handshake connection, right? So let's take a look about that. So key points about TCP and UDP. TCP is connection oriented, meaning it establishes a connection before sending data, while UDP is connectionless, sending data without a prior connection. UDP is like, I don't care, I'm just going to send what I have to send. Reliability. TCP is more reliable as it ensures all data is delivered correctly by checking for errors and resending lost packages or lost packets, while UDP doesn't guarantee delivery and may lose some packets. UDP says, I don't care, right? And then it says UDP is generally faster than TCP because it doesn't need to establish a connection or perform error checking, making it suitable for applications where fast response time is crucial. So what are some common use cases for TCP? Email, web browsing, file transfer, where reliable data delivery is essential. And for UDP, online gaming, live streaming, video calls, DNS lookups. All right, so that is pretty much the difference between the two. It's very important to get that understanding and that concept before we get started. So that's why I took the time to take a look at that. All right. So with that being said, we are going to start up our virtual machine. Let's go to, let me see if I can pull up my working virtual machine at that because I had destroyed it last week. Let me see, but I almost figured it out though. I almost figured it out. So let's go to, they do say almost doesn't count. So it is what it is. Let's go to let me close this up before it slows down this machine. Let's go to, what am I looking for? All right, we're going to VMware. let's see if our VMware is going to participate in tonight's show. All right, so let's go over here and let's get the show started. So we are in our Kali Linux. And all right, so this should be Tech Coach Ralph, I believe. Oops, forgot a key. And we're into our Kali Linux. All right, so being into our Kali Linux now, in order to be able to actually practice the scanning stuff, we're actually going to need to get some vulnerable virtual machines. Like, all right, because they're vulnerable, they're feeling a little bit hurt, so we need to get some vulnerable virtual machines. How do we find these vulnerable virtual machines to install? Well, if you guessed the answer was Google, then you would be 100% correct. So we're gonna go. So I have my Kali Linux up and running. I'm gonna go over to Google. Let's go back over here to our browser, and I need vulnerable VMs for pen testing. That's what. So I searched for this earlier today, right? And I was just searching. So you can get something where it's like, let's say we do a search for top 10 vulnerable VMs. So like they'll give you, let me see. So, and they're going to say, all right, so let's see. Oh, so this is pretty helpful. So when looking for vulnerable VMs for penetration testing, the most popular options include Metasploitable, BWAP, Buggy Web Application, Multi-Day, Damn Vulnerable Web Application, OWASP, Juice Shop, WebGoat, Vulnerable by Design, Pawner Lab, Hack the Box VMs, all of which are designed with intentional vulnerabilities to practice various hacking techniques in a controlled environment. All right, so I don't know. So we're gonna start off with this Metasploit from Rapid7. That's the one that they start off with in the course. So we're gonna start off with that one, and then we will go from there. Let me go over here. All right. So let's go ahead and go to the Rapid7 site, and I'm just gonna go down here. I'm gonna go here and click Download Now for downloading Metasploitable. And I'm gonna just take it to my downloads folder. And then we will go to, where's my download? And it's still downloading. It's about 376 megabytes, so it's still downloading right now. Almost done. Almost there. Almost there. All right, it's done. So I'm going to, so it's a zip file. I'm going to extract that zip file. And I am going to go into that folder. All right, so now I'm going to pull up over here. Whatever. All right, so I'm going to go over here. So now I have my Metasploitable Linux 2. We have it for, let me see, virtual disk. We have our VMware. So we need to get this into a, and here's the thing, right? It's very, very lightweight, so it's not going to take up that much space on our machine. So we need to get that into our VM, right? So we're gonna do file, and let me see, do we do open? Let me see, I'm not 100% sure yet. Let's go to open, and then we're gonna go to, let me see. Let me see. Oops. All right, so we're inside the Metasploitable folder, right? And we have the option for VMX, which would be the VM config. That is the only one that is actually that we can open here. So let's go ahead and open that. And VMware, all right, so let's say allow it to, all right, so we're here. And let me double check our settings. So now I'm going to be checking the memory setting, which is going to be 512, which they said is more than enough. Let's go and check the 512 megabytes. Let's go, and one processor should be more than enough as well. Let's go and check the disk space. 8 gig, I think 8 gigs should be enough because we're not doing anything on it, right? So we should be good with that. Let's go to the network, and we want it to be a virtual machine shares IP with the Mac on external networks. The Mac provides network address translation for network traffic from the virtual machine. We want a bridge network actually. So let's do a bridge. And I have to go back to our Kali Linux machine to also get a bridge as well. To make sure that one's a bridge as well, right? So, and we'll see that. So let's go. I'm gonna do a bridge. The virtual machine appears as an additional computer on the same physical network as your Mac. So that's what I want. And I'm gonna do the same thing over here. Let me see if I can check that over here. Network adapter. So let me turn that into a bridge as well. Let's see. Do we need to restart? I don't know. All right, so we don't need to restart. The network is disconnected. It should come back. All right, so let's double check our network. So let me do a ping yahoo.com. And we're pinging yahoo.com. All right, so we're good on that front. Let's do let me do IP config. And IP config, let's see, IF config. On an IF config, we have our IP of 192.168.86.250. Let me get a terminal so we can do an IF config on our local network. What's up, Metasploitable? How are you doing tonight? Hopefully everything is going well with you. Let me do, I think on this one I can do IP config, right? And it's going to say IP config get IF list. And we want to do IP config get IF ADDR. And we want to do, I think it's EN0 we're looking for. Yep, so 192, so this max IP address is 192.168.86.28. The virtual machine that we're using is for Kali Linux is 192.168.86.250. All right, so they're on the same, they're within the same subnet at least, right? Allegedly. All right, I am not the greatest at subnetting and all that good stuff. I used to be an expert subnetter, but that was 20 years. That was 20 years ago, and I am not living in the past. We got my guy Rod Brown in the building as well. I'm gonna properly address Metasploitable and Rod Brown once I get to break. But I just gotta say hello to my friends. How are you guys doing today? All right, so we have our IF config. We have so now let's go ahead and let's start up this other machine. And as you see how in Kali Linux we have this GUI interface, this graphical user interface. We do not have that. We're not going to have that in this Metasploit Linux machine. So we're just going to go ahead and it says, would you like to upgrade this virtual machine? An upgraded virtual machine offers support of new features, but cannot be used by earlier versions of VMware Fusion until you downgrade it. Yeah, I'm a big fan of upgrade. All right. Oh, well, it says the virtual machine cannot be powered on because it requires x86 machine architecture, which is oh, it is always something. Let's see what we can do. All right, hold on. Let me see if there's anything I can do on my end. If not, we might have to download a whole. Well, no, because the guy was able to use this. All right, so let me see what we can do. Give me a second. Let's see. So show all. Let's see. General. What do we have under general? Let's see. We have a description. We have. All right, it's on Ubuntu. Let's see. What else can we do here? Compatibility, maybe. Don't see anything there either. Looks like we're gonna have to go to the good old Google. Let's see. Processor. Interesting. See, there's always something that comes up every time we have a game plan. Then Mike Tyson shows up to punch us in the mouth, and now our plans are out the window. All right, well, let's figure this out. Let's go ahead. Let's go to the Google. Let's go to the Google and see what we can find. All right, we're gonna go to. Let me try to start it up first, just so I can see the actual error message, and then we can search that error message. At least you guys get to see how we troubleshoot here, right? So this virtual machine cannot be powered on because it requires x86 machine architecture. So we're gonna go over to the Google. And it says this virtual machine cannot be powered on because it requires x86. All right, so VMware Fusion error. Well, let's take a look at this Reddit post over here. It says I have installed the latest VMware Fusion on MacBook Pro. Okay, added iOS. Okay, got that. Okay, we got that. VMware products do virtualization, not emulation. The VMs must use the same CPU as the host. You can run Intel-based OSs on Intel-based hardware. Okay. All right. So let's see if they have a Metasploit for ARM 64. How about that? How about that? Is that possible? Let's see. GitHub Rapid7 nightly installers. Let's see. Metasploit open source nightly installers. OS X manual installation. Linux OS X quick installation. Let me see. So installing Metasploit on Linux Mac OS. The following script application will import the Rapid7 signing key and set up a package for supported Linux and Mac OS systems. Once installed, you can launch MSF console from a terminal. That's not what I want to do though. That's not it either. ARM VM. Metasploit has payload support for ARM devices, including M1 and M2 chips, can run on all VMs. Metasploit is an open pen testing tool. Let me see. Metasploitable 2, maybe? Let me see what's that all about. Let's see. Did I get to? I don't know what I downloaded. Maybe that is the one that I downloaded. Let's see. Let's see. So it says once the VM is available on your desktop, open the device and run it with VMware Player. Alternatively, you can use VMware Workstation or VMware Server. I have a backup plan though. I do have a backup plan. Let me see. Metasploitable 2 on ARM. Let's see. UTM. I think I uninstalled UTM. Let me see. UTM. That was my backup. Oh, wait, no, I still have UTM. Okay. All right. I still have UTM. I think we might be able to do it on UTM. Wasn't planning on using UTM, but we can find out. All right. Well, it is what it is. It doesn't look like, as of right now, and in order not to waste too much time, we're not going to try to force it on VMware. If you're going to be done, then provide ARM. All right, so I'm going to try UTM, right? Who would have thought? Who would have thought UTM would come in for the win? But we don't know if it's going to work yet, right? So let's go ahead and let's go back over here. And let's get rid of this. Delete. Well, let me not get rid of it. Well, it's downloaded. But let me go and try to say emulate. And can I do Linux? And can I say, ooh, that's not going to work because I'm trying to, let me see.
Lunch break. Lunch break.
Gonna go to break in a second. I just was expecting to be a lot further. Let's see here. Let me see. Downloads. Okay. Let's see here. Let me also, one last thing before we go to break, let me try VirtualBox. Just trying a few different ways to see if we can get this to start. I'm not sure if it's going to work with VirtualBox either because it does kind of require emulation. Let me see. But we'll figure it out. If we have to spend the show trying to figure this out, then it is what it is, all right? Let's go to download Metasploit. Let's try. Okay, let's close this one. Quit. I quit the wrong thing. All right. Let's see. Gotta do it again. Oops. Well, let's do this. Let's go to break because this is gonna take us some time to figure it out, right? Mac and their M1 chips, although they're amazing and they run a lot faster, there's a hell of a lot of trouble that we have to deal with when dealing with this, all right? So we're gonna go to break. And here we are. We are at break. I'm gonna check the chat and then we will actually get to our first break time topic before we get back to work, okay?
People yap about the dreams they chase. Big plans on show in a noisy space. Talking loud but moving slow. Hollow words where actions go. Shut up and produce, get things done. No one cares about talk spun. Prove your worth or walk away. It's about the work you lay. Empty promises fill the air. Procrastination everywhere. Stop the act, just make the move. Whoa. Show your grind, let talent groove. Whoa, whoa. Shut up and produce, get things done. No one cares about talk spun. Prove your worth or walk away. It's about the work you lay. Enough of words, let's see the deeds. Don't just plant but sow the seeds. Show the grit beneath your skin. Let the real work begin. Shut up and produce, get things done. No one cares about talk spun. Prove your worth or walk away. It's about the work you lay. Enough of words, let's see the deeds. Don't just plant but sow the seeds. Show the grit beneath your skin. Let the real work begin. Shut up and produce, get things done. No one cares about talk spun. Prove your worth or walk away. It's about the work you lay. Words, let's see the deeds. Just plant and sow the seeds. Show the grit beneath your skin. Let the real work begin. Shut up and produce, get things done. No one cares about talk spun. Prove your worth or walk away. It's about the work you lay.